And here we have Casca Graham with an amazing tan. I'm sure she'll tell us where she got it from. So a warm welcome to you, Casca. So she's a multi-dimensional shamanic healer, dragon Reiki teacher, dragon Reiki teacher, founder of the Casca Graham Academy. She works closely with the Akashic Records, the dragon realm, blending ancient wisdom with powerful modern practices. She's attuned many students throughout the world, and she channels dragon energy to awaken our soul's true potential. So welcome. It's beautiful to see you, and that is an amazing tan. I'm quite jealous. I'm looking very pale compared to you. How are you?
I'm really, really well. It's lovely to see you, Kevin, and it's wonderful to be here with you all today. I must say, from the minute I started to speak to Alessandra, my I started to get so much pressure coming into my kind of God portals. So I'm just trying to kind of just walk
Hold the
through
energy
that.
here.
It's coming through really, really, really strong. So if you see me wincing, I'm like, been a
After,
while since it's come through this strong, so I have no
after the
idea what
tune it,
today is going to
like,
bring. Yeah,
tune it down, guys.
yeah. Whew, it's coming through strong. My head feels like it's just going. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, really beautiful to be here. You know, I was part of the summit last year as a recorded speaker, and what an honor to be a live speaker. Yeah, I have been really looking forward to this. And really, where has the last year gone? It just seems to have flown by, and I'm sure I'm going to speak for all of us here. It has just been insane. Okay, the energies, the time flying by, our individual evolution, the planet's evolution, just all of it is just so, so, so powerful right now. And yeah, I mean, what an amazing time to be alive. What an incredible time to be alive. We truly are blessed, although it definitely throws its challenges. We really are blessed to be here. And Kev, I actually got my tan from the UK. So I was in Heybridge Basin yesterday, which is on the Essex coast, and I was at the regatta. So, and I can't wait to tell you how what happened. So it's quite the regatta is quite small. It's at the water mouth. So everyone, there's a few little, exciting events taking place. And they have a few stalls. And when I mean a few, you're talking about 5 or 6 stalls. That's about it, because it's really not big. As I walked round the corner to get to the first stall, what was it called? Dragon Creations. And there I met an amazing woman who's absolutely obsessed with dragons. And she makes all these beautiful dragon like uh, books and little ornaments. Now, because I've got a digital background, I'm really going to hope that I can show you what I'm going to show you. I'm going to try and move it around just so you can see. But what it was she makes these books, so the covers have got the dragon eye and the back, um, but you can fill the book with filofax paper, so the book is eternal. Now, what was so interesting is my 3 dragons that I work with all the time. One of them is Acrobus. I've got Curious and I've got Sirius. Um, she had all 3 of them there. So I'm going to start with Acrobus, and I'm going to try. I might have to move it around a little bit, but just look how talented she is. I hope you're going to be able to see it. Oh no, hang on, I'm going to work on this. Oh, did you see that? And it's resin. So that's the whole book cover. I'll try and do the back as well, see if I can do it. So tricky with a digital. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. This woman is just absolutely incredible. And she's based in Essex, and she just adores dragons. And so to meet her was, I just knew that it was so aligned, and it was just getting us ready, because I'm now able to sit with these beautiful dragon eyes around me today, as well as, sit with all of you. So that's where I got my tan yesterday. It was really, really hot here in the UK. And I was on the water, but yeah, it was a beautiful day. And the first thing was dragons. So it was really wonderful. But you know, Kev, I've been like toing and froing with what I wanted to share today, because you know it wasn't too long ago that we sat together, and you know, I was in South Africa at the time, and I was having a big you know, a big connection there with the dragons in South Africa. And you know, I want to talk a little bit about that today, but then there's something else which keeps coming up, which I feel I need to share now. I want to just introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. I'm just going to give you a very quick idea of who I am and how long I've been working with dragons. And let me just say that every single day I learn more and I grow more. And the dragons are the best teachers. So I was born in South Africa. I'm very blessed to be born in South Africa. I've always been very connected to nature and animals, and always been connected to my spirituality. It's been something that's very strong for me. And nature and animals, and actually the fairy kingdom, were very prominent in my life as a child. And then as I grew older, the angelic realm came in a very strong way. And when I got to, you know, to being an adult, I knew that that my healing work had to start flowing through in whatever capacity that meant. I was able to communicate with animals at a very young age. Sadly, that kind of faded as I got a little bit older, but we know that that happens, and I've had to really work to get that back. Okay, it definitely, that gap came. I used to be able to just have wild birds land on me when I was a child, but then that, you know, I don't know, all sorts of things start happening, don't they? And the animals are like, ah. But you know, that energy was always flowing through. So I was never really drawn to Reiki at all. But in the UK, you have to actually be insured if you want to do any healing work. So I thought, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn Reiki 1 to work with animals. And I did that. But, you know, there was a bigger plan for me then, because more humans started to come to me. I then expanded on my Reiki. I became a Yasui Reiki master, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I felt very restricted, and I'm very rebellious in everything I do. To break, I love to break the barriers down. Okay. And I just felt there was too much restriction there. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with Yasui Reiki, because it was a beautiful, beautiful stepping stone, and it is a beautiful modality, but there was more coming through for me. I then went on and I learned angelic Reiki, which was like, boom, it just opened up. All the dimensions started coming through, and I started to see more, because it really activates the third eye. And then I joined an angel group, and I went traveling around Europe, and I joined this angel group on Facebook, and started to meet some really beautiful women, and we had a lot of things in common. My healing work was thriving. It was doing really well. And I went to Europe, and boom, in Milan, my dragon Sirius came through, and that just opened everything up for me. I then came back, was invited to go and teach angelic Reiki in Iceland, and my God, then the dragons just really started to come through in a beautiful way. And really, I've never looked back. In 2020, I worked with the dragons to create my own intricate version of Dragon Reiki. I'm not the founder of Dragon Reiki. I've never said that I am, but I have created my own intricate version, so that when I teach people, and when they come and they work through me, it is a lineage that I worked with the dragons to create. And it's a beautiful lineage. I've worked with some beautiful, beautiful people around the world, and we've got an amazing community now. And everyone's just branching off doing their own thing, which is how it's meant to be. Because, you know, as many of you know, we're not here. We already know. This is a remembering. This is a remembering. We are now remembering. So when the dragons are coming in, they are just activating those parts of our soul that are helping us remember that we are these limitless, incredible beings. But my God, you know, this third dimensional experience has been one of pain and suffering and grief and trauma. But hey, we came here to experience that. It doesn't make it any easier. But the dragons are here, and you know, all of the other beings of light really work with us in remembering. Um, the dragons connected me to the Akashic Records, and then that cracked me open a bit more. And so I started to work with the dragons and the Akashic Records, and it's just evolving all the time for me in a very beautiful way. When Kevin introduced me, he introduced me as a multi-dimensional shamanic healer. And it was very difficult trying to explain to people what I do. And I'm sure many of you have the same thing, because we have a lot of strings to our bow. And you know, it's the oils, it's the sound. I do breath work, I do mindfulness, I do artwork, I work with animals, I work with children, teenagers. It's like it just, the list goes on and on and on. And it wasn't until where it was about a year and a half ago, when I was in a healing session, and I had all my dragons really working with me, and the ancestors all came through. And I was in, and I, you know about this, Kevin, because I've shared it with you before, quite a long time ago. And I was encouraged to start to chant. And I've always had a bit of insecurity about my voice. You know, my dad was an amazing singer. He was well known as a singer. And so, you know, I've always had a bit of insecurity. I've always had a bit of a deep voice that projects really far. And I've always been told I'm too loud. And, you know, so singing wasn't something that I ever thought I would really do. And again, you know, when I say that, a lot of emotion comes up, because it's a lot of suppression and pain and suffering through that throat chakra. You know, there's a lot there. And all of a sudden it was like, well, this isn't about me. This is about my client and what they need right now. So I'm just going to park it. I'm going to park my ego and my insecurities. And from that moment, I started to sing and chant. And when I work with the dragons, I work with the fractals. I see them. And the dragons, when they first started revealing themselves to me, they came through showing me fractals. That was how they first came through. And so as I've grown and evolved as a healer, when I am connecting to my clients, if they're fractals within their soul, if they're healthy and they're moving, they're all just moving like this, okay, and it's beautiful. But when there's dis-ease within the body and in the soul, then the fractals aren't functioning properly. So what happens is we bring in that dragon energy, and they come in bringing in unity and transformation and all those really beautiful things that the dragons bring, and they link into those fractals, and they start to work with them in this incredible way. And what I found was that by using my voice and working with the ancestors, I am now able to facilitate that whole process on a much deeper level. So I started to sing, and it was incredibly powerful. And my client was really responding. Her whole body was just like shaking and convulsing and shaking and convulsing. And I know, you know, some people think that's a little bit dramatic, but it's not. It was a very beautiful moment, because she was being held in such a safe space. And she'd actually only ever received a healing one other time, but with somebody else. So this was a big moment for her. And when we came to the end, it was almost like a lullaby to her, and I was just holding her and just like massaging her all over her whole body, just working with her meridians, allowing the energy to flow with her breath. It was incredible. And my voice just got softer and more like a lullaby. And in that moment, I just heard really loudly, "And the shaman is born." And the tears just started to like fall down my face, and they were falling down my client's face. And in that moment, I knew that I had been initiated by my spirit guides, by my ancestors, by my dragons, by all of it. And that was how I knew from that moment I would then be able to say that my work is shamanic, which it is. I have been working with nature and herbs and all of it my whole life. And a lot of it I've just known what to do. And I had to, there was a lot that came through it, because the word like shaman is thrown around with so much ease, and it's not to say that anybody's better or worse or whatever, but it's a sacred name. And coming from Africa, it was like, am I able to really call myself this? And my dragons were like, this is you, this is who you are. And where I'm working with such on so many different levels with the dragons and the unicorns, as many of you know, and I work with so many different beings now that are coming in. It's the perfect title. And finally, after all of these years, I was able to go, right, this is who I am, this is what I do. And it really, in a nutshell, explains exactly what I do. So it's been this whole big journey. And the dragons, in the year of the dragon, I spent my whole life waiting to write. Okay, trying to get those books out, and then in the year of the dragon, I got 2 books out, which was just like, yes. And Kev, like, it was pumping. That energy in the year of the dragon was really pumping through so many of us. And I was able to share the 2 modalities that I teach, and how I work with it, and how that's kind of that works for me. So that's been really, really beautiful. And then in this last year, I had to go back to South Africa, and I haven't been back for a really, really long time, because we've had COVID, and it's been a lot. But before I went to South Africa, I knew something was going to shift while I was out there, because now there's a few bits to the story. Many of you know Caroline Mitchell, an amazing woman. She's from the UK. She works with the dragons as well, and she's got an oracle card deck, which is called Dragon Path. And believe me when I tell you, I have got loads of oracle cards, and I've been using them since I was really young. I was using playing cards and tarot cards, and they've always been there. I am at a stage now where I go to do readings for people, and I don't even pick up cards anymore. And then I think at the end, should we just pull a card? Like, I've got to that point now, which is very beautiful in my work and in my evolution. But for some reason, I just always feel drawn to those cards. And I kept pulling the same card before I went to South Africa, which is a dragon called Asclepius. And I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that correctly. But it's a dragon that talks about herbs and plants and medicine. And this energy has been so strong for me lately. It's really been coming through a lot. And I've been doing an in-depth herbalism course for a very, very long time. It covers all of the flowers, everything. But it's just something that I kind of tick away with on the sidelines, because, it's time. This time doesn't even seem to be there at the moment. But that's kind of what's been going on the side. And, when we hear the word plant medicine, we automatically, start to think about ayahuasca and, marijuana and just all of it. We go down that, but it's so much more than that. And so this dragon kept coming through, and I was like, this must be to do with just completing this course now, and I have so much respect for plant medicine. I cannot tell you. And I've always had that, because in my work, I get a lot of clients coming to me with addiction, and it goes across. So I've seen what happens when plants are not respected. Okay, and I've seen how wonky it can go. So, and I just, that energy merges well with who I am as a healer. So when I went to South Africa, I had a very big shift out there. I connected with the dragons as soon as I landed. It's a long drive into the middle of the bush, which is where my family live. It's from the airport. And as soon as I came over the hill into the mountains, all the dragons came out, and they were just like greeting me and welcoming me, letting me know they knew I was coming, and showing me how big they are, how old they are. And it was, yeah, it was really powerful. And whilst I was out there, I was connecting, to the land, and the dragons and the ancestors were telling me stuff that was going on with the land. And as Kevin knows, they told me about the Catholiris, which is something that, it's so ancient that you can't even find anything on it. And oh, amazing. And so the Catholiris, if you want to know more, please reach out to me. I'm just going to touch on that today. But the Catholiris is like, they're like the veins. It's not the ley lines. It's like Gaia's veins. And there are certain parts around the world where they are more prominent, and they hold a golden elixir light, and they cannot be tampered with. Okay. And that was the message that I got when I was in South Africa. And I didn't realize at the time the land there is where they want to do some serious fracking. So the dragons were very, very, very adamant that they told me this news. And surprise, surprise, my sister is, she's deputy minister for energy and electricity in South Africa. So for me to then go and share this information with her, and, we are worlds apart in what we do, but at the same time, she's energy and light, and I am energy and light, and we work together in this very beautiful, mad way. Okay, she's like left brain, I'm right brain. She's square, I'm round, but we just flow, and we're doing what we've come here to do. So that was important that the dragons came through, but they kept the plants and herbs kept coming up while I was in South Africa as well, in a really big way. Coming back to England, little did I know what was in store for me. Whilst I was away, I had been working with a few clients this year that have come. And I have to be so careful how I share this information. And I have to understand the sacredness of it, and also just reaffirm that there's absolutely no ego in what I'm about to say now. This is part of what I want to share today. And I've worked with a few clients this year which have come to see me, and they are quite far along with their illness. In late stages, if you know what I mean. And I have done some work. One of them only came to see me once, and this was a doctor, and the next day was going for loads of tests and scans, and everything was completely clear. Now, this man had already started to get all his everything in order. He was getting ready to. And so it was like, where this has taken place with a few clients this year, I've had to really absorb that. And believe me when I say it's not because I don't believe, because of course I do. My whole life is about this. But it's when you start to really see that the more we as healers heal, and the more we do our work, and the more we are evolving on this powerful journey that we're on, that light frequencies and the fractals that we are working with, and everything is really, really, really shifting people when they are coming for sessions. And the dragons are powerful. Okay, these guys are powerful, and what they have taught me is that they are only as powerful as we allow them to be as a vessel. Okay. So when you're channeling their energy and when you're working with the dragons, however, you've got to be really devoted to your healing in order to be able to channel. Their frequency is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's how much where we are willing to go to be able to channel that. And I've realized that now. I've always known it, but I really see it now. And they're just waiting. And we know the dragons have been waiting. They've been waiting a really long time. But it is up to us to be continuously doing this inner work on ourselves to be able to channel this light and to channel this energy, this frequency, whatever you want to call it. So I had somebody contact me through the medical profession, okay, and pharmaceuticals and all of that, which is just madness, okay. And he was like, he messaged me, and I knew I had to respond, okay, to that message instantly. And I don't often do that because I don't have a lot of time. I'm a little bit all over the place with my administration, but something was like, respond. And so this man traveled from far to come and see me. And when we sat down and spoke, what he told me was that he had been incredibly sick for a very long time, but specifically in the last 8 years. And he has spent the last 8 years traveling around to find shamans all over to assist him, because he started to use plant medicine a long time ago, okay? And he really went down that journey. So this is a very powerful man. He's done a lot of work, but he went down the journey. And what happened was he started to work with Kambo. So for those of you that don't know, Kambo comes from the frog. Okay, so it's like it's the medicine that comes from the frog. So, and you have to you use a tool to burn it into your skin, and the Kambo gets in, and then you have a really powerful purge. And he started to use this quite a lot. But then what started to happen was, when he wasn't using it, he would just be like walking down the road, and he would go into a Kambo state where he'd feel like he could feel it coming on, and then he would start wanting to purge, and he'd starting to get really sick. So he explained all of this to me, and then he said he traveled to South America, and an amazing shamanic healer out there actually told him that the spirit of Kambo was stuck in his body. And he said, we don't know how you're going to get it out, but we do believe that you will find somebody that will definitely be able to help you. So when he was telling me this, as soon as those words left his mouth, my team and dragons jumped forward, and they were like, you can do it. I haven't dealt with anything like this in my life before. Okay. And I said, I can do it. I said, I'm only telling you what I've just been told. And I said, this is a really big thing for me to say because I haven't worked like this before, but I'm going to say, let's do this. Okay. And I missed a little bit, like leading up to going to South Africa, I kept getting this message as well. You are the medicine. You are the medicine. We are the medicine. Like I kept hearing this, and I was like, okay. And I was thinking, wow, that's a really big statement. You know, we've got all this beautiful medicine. We work with light and energy, but that kept coming through quite a lot as well. So I started to work with this amazing man. Okay. The first session was powerful, but we worked intensively together. Then the second session, he said, can you look under my foot? And as I looked under his foot, there was all frog spawn, like frog's eggs all under the foot. And I was like, so I had some Arcturians standing next to me, and I had to remove each egg one at a time, and they put it in a little golden pot. Okay. And then I had to send these frequencies up his leg. And let me tell you, I haven't ever worked like this before. The next day, I'm working. And there was like this gray mass in his stomach. And as I went to clear it, it was like liquid concrete. And it just started to pour out. Like, yeah, it was etheric frog's eggs, 100%. Okay, so then this concrete started to just pour out. Now, when I'm working, I have a massive team around me. I've got my dragons, I've got the unicorns, I've got 2 Arcturians that are always working with me. I've got some Syrian, family. I've got my ancestors. It's all going on. Okay. And this concrete was just pouring out of him, this wet, thick concrete. And I was scraping and pulling and scraping and pulling. And I was getting really tired. I've never experienced it. Just was coming and coming and coming. There was just no give. And I said, look, I can't. Like, what next? So I was given a tool to set the concrete. I mean, it's so long. Then I had to like crack it off. Then I had to sweep it out. And then they were like, that's enough for today. And during this time, my client's going through a lot. Like, he can feel it because he's very in tune. He was like really feeling whatever was coming out. But I knew it wasn't fully out. And I said that to him, there's something still there. The next day, I'm thinking, okay, let's do this. We go. Right in his middle, there's a bubble. I pull the one bubble, then the next bubbles, just coming out like loads. Now I was like, not this again. And I really, I'm like looking, going, what's happening here? But just before I got to that bubble, there was a vine, like a black vine going down his left arm. And I gently had to remove that. And as I did, I heard grandmother ayahuasca, just very, very gentle. And then just these whispers coming out. So I didn't really know what that was, but I was like, okay, beautiful. So much respect and love. Then the bubbles were just coming, and I had like a tool. I was trying to get out nothing. And I actually called in Archangel Michael. I had Archangel Raphael standing there. I had everyone. And I was like, what am I going to do? And in that moment, and my dragons were so close, because never once did my dragons give me this, like, they knew that they were just in absolute confidence that I was going to complete this task. Okay. So I then just heard really, really softly in this amazing voice, you will never get rid of me like this. And I was like, okay, it wasn't scary. And I was like, again, and it was like, you will never clear me this way. And I said, so what do I need to do? And this was the spirit of Cambo talking to me. And the voice was like, you need gratitude. So in that moment, it wasn't me. In that moment, I said to my client, you need to fill your heart with gratitude now. You need to do that. So what he was doing, he was pulling in gratitude, and then he just started sending out gratitude for everything he has in his life. And then I said, now you need gratitude for Cambo. So he started to fill, and he was just saying, thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the medicine. Thank you for all of that. And then I said, and respect. And he went, and respect. And in that moment, the Cambo just went down his left leg and just left. And as he did, I got this beautiful old frog face right up to me like this. And then he just left. And I just started to cry my eyes out. The tears were just absolutely pouring down. And then I went into my dragon voice, and that was just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing, because my client felt so much emotion. When we came out of it, obviously he's had that spirit in his body for 8 years. When we came out of it, he said to me, I disrespected the medicine. He said, I disrespected it. He said, I was using it too much. I wasn't respecting it. And he said, and I combined it with ayahuasca. And I went, oh my God, now I know why grandmother ayahuasca was there. All of this cleared. And then I was just like, wow. And then that night before I went to bed, I had my dragons around me, and again the ancestors were in, and they were like, you can use the spirit of all the plant medicines. You do not need the medicine. I was like, what? And it's shifted me in such a big way. And then I thought to myself, of course you can. How, like, we have been working with energy and spirit but we don't need that 3D. And this is no disrespect to the medicine. There is no disrespect there at all. This is even more respect than I think I could ever, because it's now speaking to me. It's now speaking to me, and I feel like in my work something really big has shifted here. And like I'm telling you, I'm ready to put on a backpack and head straight into the mountains and just be like, right, talk to me. Talk to me, because this is really, really powerful stuff. And I don't know what's going to come from it, but then I understood why Asclepius was coming through in such a big way, because he was like, look, this is so much more here. Like, we are able to connect to the spirit of these plants, and we are able to work with that spirit as healers, and we're able to bring it in. But you can't just be calling it in. You have got to understand that medicine on such a deep, deep, deep level, okay, before you even attempt to go there. And as we know, the medicine doesn't mess around, okay? If there's any disrespect, it's going to get you. It's going to get you. There has to be so much respect there. And you know you can see people that abuse any sort of substance, that there's a fine line of where you go. And I've seen it with cannabis. I have a lot of clients that have been using cannabis for years and years and years, and actually they might not realize that as they're about to smoke, or however they want to take it, there might not be that respect every single time they take that medicine, because it becomes really habitual. Okay, we know that that's not going to end well. We need to be working with that medicine with the deepest respect. Okay, like, and I felt that. I saw it so clearly. There was no way that Camber, there was nothing bad or horrible. He was amazing. He was constantly doing what Camber does. Okay, and showing me what I saw. I saw that my client's electromagnetic field, how that had been affected. I saw it all. They showed me so much, and I have so much gratitude for what I've seen working with this client, because we've continued to work together on such a deep level. And I have learned so much in the last few weeks of who I am. It's just been mind blowing. And the excitement coming from the dragons, and the excitement coming from the ancestors, and all of it, because this is a big part of who we are. The spirit of all plants is ready to work with us. It's not, there's medicine everywhere. It's everywhere. And if we are able to be channeling these frequencies, working with the fractals, working with the dragons, working with the ancestors, the multidimensional beings, we are able to work with the energy of these plants as well. But you've got to understand it. You can't just be calling them in. Like, that isn't the way. Okay, there's so much respect. So, that was the message that I wanted to come in. I wanted to share this amazing experience with you, because it's been absolutely amazing. And what I wanted to do, for the rest of my time, on this beautiful summit, was actually to do some healing work. Okay, to bring in some of the energy, to bring in some of the fractals, to bring in the energy that I work with, and do some healing work. So I hope that's something that you'd all embrace. If it's not, you could just take your time and work on your breath. But we're going to call some really beautiful energy now in, and I want to just share what I do, and how I do it, and the energy that actually flows through me from the amazing, incredible team that surround me every single day. Okay, so amazing, amazing, amazing. So what I will try and do, is just leave some time if there are any questions, or if anybody does want to say anything at the end. We'll try and leave some time. So whew, I invite you all now to get yourselves into a really comfortable space. Now, if you actually can lie down, I encourage you to lie down. But if you can't and you want to sit, that's really okay too. Okay? When you're ready, gently close your eyes. And just begin by taking 2 lovely deep breaths in. Then you're going to take a 3rd deep breath in. And on the out breath, just feel your body relaxing into your breath and start to breathe as you normally breathe. Now, don't try and change your breath in any way, just be aware of it. Putting all your attention and focus onto your breath. Really feel the air as it moves into your nose and into your body. Any thoughts that arrive now, just let them go and just bring it back to the breath, really feeling that air as it moves into your nose or mouth and into your body. Now take your awareness down to the ground. Feel the ground beneath you. Really feel your connection to the ground. Just hone into that connection, putting all your attention and focus there. You now find yourself in a space where you are connecting to your breath and to the ground. Breath and ground. Breath and ground. Take your awareness now to your ears. Just tune into everything that you can hear around you now. You now find yourself in a space where you're connecting to your breath, to the ground, and to sound. Breath, ground, and sound. Now start to connect to the density of your whole body. Just connecting now to the whole body. You're now in a beautiful space of breath, ground, sound, body. Breath, ground, sound. We're now going to take our awareness into our emotional body, so into our aura. So take it out and start to feel the air surrounding your whole body. Absolutely beautiful. Whilst we're in this beautiful space now, we invite in the dark blue dragons. We ask that they clear above us, below us, and around us. We call in the fire dragons now, and we ask that they place a ring of fire around us. Just connect to those etheric flames now. And just breathe in gently that cleansing energy from those flames. We call in our spirit guides, our galactic soul families, our ancestors. Unakia utukia matataika. Our animal guides. And just feel their energy coming in now, bringing unconditional love. Just absorb that unconditional love into every single cell within your body. Just breathe that unconditional love in and out. Beautiful. Just take your awareness now back down to the ground. Feel your connection to the ground. And just affirm very gently that you are grounded. You are held by Gaia. Just feel that connection. Just breathe in that connection to the ground and to Gaia. The words said now are done on behalf of all of us here. I am now ready to clear all energetic attachments to people, places, and situations from my past, my present, and my future that have no relevance in my life now. I clear these from my right. I clear these from my left. I clear these in front of me. I clear these behind me. I clear these below me. I clear these above me. Thank you. Inner plane healing masters, thank you for cauterizing and sealing these attachments with love and light and creator substance and fulfilling any voids with the same. Thank you for placing us in a golden dome of protection, keeping us safe from energies that do not serve our highest good. And so it is. And I want you just now to take your awareness down to the tips of your toes. And you're going to start to take gentle breaths from the toes all the way to the top of your head and then out, back down the body to the tips of the toes. So in from the tips of the toes all the way to the top of your head and then out, going back down the toes. So nice deep breaths in and out. In and out. And just keep building up that rhythm in and out. And what you're doing here now is just building up your own quantum field in and out, just working from the tips of the toes all the way to the head. So you just keep breathing now as I call in some higher frequencies. Just keep breathing and just feel that energy building up over your whole body. Just keep breathing. Beautiful. Just keep breathing. Just feel that energy moving up and down, up and down, just building up. Beautiful. Just keep breathing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Om Nae, Om Nam, Om Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha. Ooh. Ooh. Just keep breathing and just taking these frequencies in now. Keep breathing. Ooh. Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha. Ooh. Ooh. Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha. Ooh. Ooh. Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha. Ooh. Ooh. Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha. Ooh. 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 Mm. 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 Ooh. Mm. Ooh. Mm. Ooh. 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 Mm. Ooh. Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Naha, Om Nahe, Om Naha, Om Nahe. O Shamiha, O Shakiha, O Shamiha, O Shakiha. Om Nahi, Om Naha, Om Nahi, Om Naha. Nikyata Mahakyana, Umutikia Matatakietaya, Ikikiatai Shakakamutiaka, Mananakiana Kiata, Untukia Shaka. Just bring your awareness back to your breath. Take a really nice deep breath in. Just giving your toes and your fingers a little wiggle. Just bringing that energy back into your body now. Feeling it moving into the spine, into the shoulders, into the body. Just coming back into the physical body, into the here and the now. Taking another really nice deep breath in. And Just gently and slowly starting to come back. You might just want to have a little glass of water and just still allowing all the energy just to come back into the meridians and into the body. Absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. Welcome back. So I've left a few little minutes, you know, a little bit of time. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if anybody would like to share anything, and also Kev, it just gives you a chance just to be able to have a little chat. And I just wanted to just also say thank you so much for, you know, just giving me this beautiful opportunity to be here again with all of you and just to share this incredible, amazing energy.
That was divine. Wow. I'm lost for words. That was gorgeous. I'm sure everyone wants to send you lots of love for that, because that was extremely powerful.
Wow.
I'm starting to lose a bit of my energy from the long day, but I just feel completely revitalized now.
Amazing.
Do another 10. Go on, let's go. That was gorgeous.
Amazing.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Such
Wow.
a pleasure. And you know, Kev, as always, the work that you do here is just, yeah, you're such a legend. Thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for always making me feel so welcome. And just, yeah, it's just amazing. You've got a beautiful team of dragon brothers and sisters around this planet. And you know, you've brought a lot of people together, and it's life changing. It really, really is. So just thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for trusting us. And I love seeing you every single time. That smile of yours is captivating. And I must come and see you in Essex soon.
I know we definitely need to hook up. That is just, it definitely needs to happen.
Needs to be a little in person tour around the country, maybe the
That
world.
sounds amazing. Yeah, yeah, the world.
Just to the world. Who's coming?
Yeah.